And welcome to A Wizard Did It. I am the being known only as the Wizard. And I would like personally to thank Derek's Mojo for being bastard hard to follow. Thank you, man.
I've seen you and you're awesome.
Oh, you're back at you, madam. Yes. But yes, very hard to follow. I mean, talk about low energy. See it, I'll have to build the room up now. It's terrible. Thank you very much. Well, I have travelled. I have travelled through many a land, up hill and dale, collecting stories and more stories. Because I've got a one-note mind. I just find something and I stick with it. And I've been travelling through many portals, through veils of reality to your world, and then on Southwest trains. If you see something that doesn't look right,
A wizard did it!
yes! Also, call the British Transport Police. They'll see it. Say it. Do not speak his name! Anyway, I'm here now, and I have come to tell you a tale. However, as you can probably tell from my voluminous robes and my equally lush beard, which I forgot to bring. But it's fine, it's happening now. As you can probably tell, I'm shitting old, in the words of the elves. So, if any of you could possibly help me by reminding me what the name of this story I'm about to tell is. Anybody have... Because you all know it.
The invisible beard.
I'm sorry.
The invisible beard.
Of course it was. Thank you. Maisie in the front here, she's been paying attention. Thank you. The invisible beard, which you all know. It's not like I'm making this shit up off the top of my head. It's an ancient story that we all know, but I shall regale you with it now. I've noticed, there's not many of us. We can approach it as we're all like the last refugees in a fort, fending off like a tribe of guinea pigs or something. But we're all a little spread out, which is not tactically helpful, so I'll move a bit a little. And a bit of a tale I shall now tell a little. The invisible beard opens on a decorous, sunlit morning as a young lady by the name of...
Elaine.
Elaine! It's a weird name. People didn't get on with her much. I mean, she could have had like a normal name like Ragdoll or Zordak the Wise, but apparently, no, she was called Elaine, which trips off the tongue. It's like it's amazing. She was, her job was as a servant girl, as one of the staff of a castle nearby, and she was a page, so we'll call her Elaine Page. Which I don't know where it seems to be. It seems to have some resonance in this world. I don't know why. I can't do the show tunes. Don't ask me to. And she lived in a modest. A modest, let's call it a hovel, because that's what it was. She didn't have a great life. We're going to fall back on some Cinderella tropes here. She didn't have a great life in the shadow of the castle on the hill, which was ominous, but still somehow that was where she went for a job. Every morning was a wrestling with her bravery to get up the long hill towards the foreboding, looming, big edifice of the castle, which gave her such a shit that she had to drink some water occasionally. And on this particular autumn morning, she traipsed up the stony path, which was decorated with shards of rose-coloured flint and the skulls of many a guinea pig. There have been many sieges of guinea pigs in the past in this country, and so they had paved their roads with the bastard things, just to give them the fear, you see. And she approached the front gate for her day's work, and was halted by the guard at the front door, who said unto her,
Hello, Elaine.
his name was Alfred, and he was blunt and to the goddamn point. You know, you'd approach the castle with an army and you go, hi. Right? And you know, that's it. He was very cut down, very minimalist. And so she said, hello, it's like you see me every day. Like, could you just think of something else, like how are you? Or how do you like the sunlight shining off the guinea pig skulls this morning? Something, just like something. And so she passed by him. There seemed to be no block. He represented no obstacle, so nothing happened there. And she went into the castle. She passed by a number of butlers and other footmen, all of which said basic, simple, welcoming things to her that did not advance the plot in any way. And so she thought, well, I mean, I'm actually quite appreciating this is going to be a non-eventful day, because I have a hard enough life as it is, polishing guinea pig skulls and rubbing the knockers on any number of innuendo-led portals in this castle. I wasn't going to go for that one. I thought it's not going to turn out well. You actually liked it. Okay, tits. Right. Well, we're here now. This is the next 8 minutes. Okay. And so. Shaking with nerves of filth in the room, she ascended the stairs to the little annexed chamber next to her lord's bedroom, where she would lather up his tiny sword, not shaving anything. He used to fight like this. He would advance upon a giant or some kind of ogre and just wave it vaguely in his direction like this, which was not such a offensive maneuver, more a declaration. Look, here's my throat. Look, it's quite open. Just gouge it out. Which is why he lived at the top of a castle. I had to be deterred from going to war quite often, because it was like he either did that or he would literally pull up his jumper and I'd painted a target on his chest. His name was what was his name?
Michael Caine.
His name was Michael Caine. Not a lot of people knew that. And he'd just come back from Italy. and we will not go from blowing doors into knocker jokes on doors. But no, actually, no, you were well up for that. Blowing like fellatio on a door. I just get, as you can see from the, yes, so he's a massive idiot, a complete tool, no. It was amusing for a second, but not. So his name was Michael Caine, and she would enter politely and say elephant, which satisfied Michael Caine greatly, because all he wanted was a word. Possibly a photograph to keep, but he was in a faux medieval universe. He didn't know what a photograph was. Thank you. Oh, you're right. And he was sitting, fretting in his four-poster bed because he was clutching to his bosom a parchment with a message on it, which gave him great consternation because it was of dire import, and the news it there bore was
He had cancer.
He had cancer. Like shit, brah. He was like not even like a fairy tale thing or like a fantasy trope or anything. Cancer. Literally. I mean,
I'm sorry.
No. It was a serious thing, and I asked you for a thing, and just for comedy value, I've now got to like make a big deal about how that's quite serious. But it's not, anyway, it's a lovely red bow. That's what I've been doing the dance that Elaine would wear every day, which is why the butlers didn't give her any shit. Because I'm not going to stop someone with such a lovely decoration. So, like cancer, Jesus. So you're sitting there. What kind of cancer do you have?
Curable kind.
What?
The curable kind.
Curable kind.
Yeah.
This is a fantasy world.
Yes.
So, in fact, he was reading it and he was perturbed, but not too perturbed. Because the first paragraph was like, well, cancer. And then the second was like, but, take some painkillers. Just don't lie on your left side tonight. And come back next week and it'll cleared up. It'll have cleared up. And Michael Caine was very happy about this because it too provides no dramatic obstruction to the story. And so Elaine approached his bedside and did a little courtesy, which he politely nodded back to, because he was an idiot, but he was a pleasant idiot. And she inquired about his post, and he looked at his declaration of cancer and a number of letters from princes of foreign nations asking him for money, and if they could possibly be loaned £1,000 just to get my funds. So I'm a prince, etc., etc. It's a laboured modern day joke. I'm going to drink a bit more. And he broke his fast of silence and threw his many proclamations onto the floor in a flurry of parchment-based excitement, and asked her how her day had been. And she said, "That's very nice of you, sir, but I haven't had much of a day yet. I've literally walked up to a castle and then gone up some stairs. We haven't progressed the plot that far because it's just been such a lovely day." And he said, "Well, I feel that I should make some effort to find out a little bit about you, because I've been harbouring in my bosom, not my knockers or my tits, my bosom, a need to see outside my immediate room and to stop getting parchments about Nigerian princes, and I have an urge to go to Italy. I have an urge to get any number of references, because when you kind of think of what he's been in, you think, oh, you can't. How many things? What's he been in that you liked? Drop the accent there for a second, because oh God, it's an act. It's all falling apart. What has Mr. Michael Caine been in that you liked? No,
Italian job.
Well, yes. And in fairness, pointing out of off a stage at an innocent bystander and asking for a selection of quite a limited Hoover. Sorry about that. Yes, well. What? Did you hear that sound, that echoing sound from the gulfs of time? It's the hounds of Ossa, which traditionally are the sign that someone's time is short on this earth. But for me, it means I've got to wrap shit up, yo. So, he mentioned an ancient story called Educating Ruth, which was not only heart-moving and involved a very astonishing performance from Julie Walters,
Yeah.
but was thematically appropriate because she was a low-born person. And I'm going to just rephrase that term, whatever isn't offensive to you. She had a hard life, and he didn't. He suddenly developed an alcohol problem, just to make it more appropriate. And she sat on the bed, and he taught her about. Well, he couldn't teach her that much. He had a very limited skill set. He sat in a bed, and he had a limited combat series of maneuvers. So he taught her how to do that. And she very politely humoured him and said, "Oh yeah, that's great. Yeah, just that's okay. No, that's fine." And he asked if she'd marry him, and she said, "Oh no, thanks first. Oh good, okay." And she backed off awkwardly out of the room. Firmly established their employee employer relationship. Gave him a cheeky salute, as was her wont. Sang a couple of show tunes, which I'm not going to recreate now because I couldn't do them justice. Backed off, left the room, and returned to the front gate, where Alfred was waiting. And she said, "Farewell, Alfred. My day is done." Alfred went, "Yeah." And then she walked back to her hovel and retired for the night. And that was the end. Good night.